The nation's worst environmental disaster in the Gulf continues, but one candidate for U.S. Senate says offshore drilling is too important to stop. Political editor John Delano is live in the newsroom with more. Tell us about this, John.
Well, Patrice, in the midst of a close and competitive Senate race between Republican Pat Toomey and Democrat Joe Sestak, the issue of offshore oil drilling is becoming another point of contention. Toomey has long favored offshore drilling, while Sestak says he supports a moratorium on deep water drilling. I questioned Toomey about his views when I sat down with him. Republican Senate candidate Pat Toomey says the BP oil disaster in the Gulf has not changed his support for offshore drilling.
No, I've not changed my mind. As you know, John, we've got hundreds and hundreds, thousands of wells operating all around the world. We have an enormous amount of oil production in the Gulf that we completely depend on for our transportation needs.
Toomey says America needs this oil, and he opposes President Obama's 6-month moratorium on deepwater oil drilling there.
My preference is to say, no, let's very, very carefully and rigorously and thoroughly make sure that they're in complete compliance with all of our known safety precautions so that this kind of disaster can't happen. And as soon as we've reached a level of confidence, then we should allow them to resume the drilling.
Toomey's support for oil drilling has led the Pennsylvania Democratic Party in Harrisburg to charge that the Republican does big oil's bidding for campaign contributions.
Contributions that come to me don't influence my position on issues. My long-standing support for developing domestic energy is probably something that an awful lot of Americans, Pennsylvanians, agree with. And sure, people in the energy sector agree with that as well. So it's not shocking that I get some support from that.
The oil industry has given just under $100,000 to Toomey over the years. The day after the spill, Halliburton, a company involved in the BP oil disaster, gave Toomey a $2,500 check.
I'm not aware that Halliburton was going to shut down all of their political contributions as a result of this, and I'd be surprised if they did. It doesn't change my view that whoever's responsible, whatever corporate entity, whether it's Halliburton or whether it's BP or whether it's both and whether it includes others, they have to be held accountable. They have to pay for all of this. Again, Toomey says that no amount of oil money will affect his views. He says his position on oil drilling is actually closer to President Obama's than Democrat Joe Sestak. Not true, says Sestak, who says he favors the president's moratorium on deep water drilling only, while Toomey opposes any moratorium at all. The back and forth continues. To see my full uncut interview with Toomey, just log on to KDKA.com. Live in the newsroom, I'm John Delano.